Very good morning to you all, my dear children. Are you okay? I hope all are fine and doing great. I'm Shanaz, your English teacher. Today, I would like to deal with the third poem. Name of the poem, A Tiger in the Zoo. Okay, this is from our First Flight, the book First Flight. Tiger in the Zoo, the poem written by Leslie Norris. George Leslie Norris was a prize-winning Welsh poet and a short story writer. Norris considered one of the most important Welsh writers of the post-war period. Okay, what's the name of the poet? Leslie Norris. Okay, children, have you ever thought of the life of animals in the zoo? Are you thinking the animals are happy in the zoo? We people are enjoying the animals in the zoo, right? But we know that the life of the animals inside the zoo, behind the iron bars, is very tough, very horrible, right? The most powerful animals in the jungle are kept inside the concrete cell. And keeping them like that, is it good? Okay, let's see. Here also we are going to learn about the poem, A Tiger in the Zoo. Through this poem, the poet tries to tell about the problems, the restlessness, the frustration, the agony of a animal, of a tiger in this lesson, in this poem. Okay, let's see the poem. Children, please take your textbook. This is the third poem from the book First Flight. Let's move. A Tiger in the Zoo. This poem contrasts a tiger in the zoo with the tiger in its natural habitat. Here the poem contrasts a tiger in the zoo with the tiger in his natural habitat. Here we can see a contrast between a tiger in the zoo and his life in the jungle. The poem moves from zoo to the jungle and back again to the zoo. Read the poem silently once and say which stanzas speak about tiger in the zoo, which ones speak about the tiger in the jungle. Children, you must read the poem very silently while watching the video, okay? Immediately after watching the video or during this time itself, you can just pause and you can read the poem, right? Shall we move? Okay. He stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage on pads of velvet quiet. In his quiet rage, he should be lurking in the shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plum deer pass. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws terrorizing the villagers. But he is locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bars. Stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors, he hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, the stars with his brilliant eyes at brilliant stars. You see? Okay, let's move to the first stanza. He stalks in his vivid stripes. Everyone knows that a tiger is a beautiful animal. He is powerful and also he is beautiful with his vivid stripes. What's mean by vivid? Bright colored stripes on his body, right? He stalks. Stalks means he moves. A few steps of his cage. Here the tiger inside the cage. He can move only a little footsteps, right? So there he moves around inside the cage. He stalks in his vivid stripes. Vivid stripe means bright colored stripes on his body. On pads of velvet coat, you see, pads of velvet, his paws of the tiger is something like a velvet, very soft. Paws are soft. On pads of velvet coat, in his coat rage is angry. This powerful animal controls his anger. He controls all his angry, everything he is controlling, and he just moves inside the cage. He knows that he is helpless. That's why. Okay. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plum deer pass. In the next stanza, the poet takes the readers to a jungle, the life of a tiger in jungle. Okay, the first stanza tells about his life in his cage in the zoo. How was he in the zoo? There he was working inside the zoo by controlling his anger, everything. Okay. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plum deer pass. We can see an imagery here. In the jungle, we know that a tiger is a very powerful animal in the jungle. And there he is hiding somewhere. He is lurking. Lurking means hiding. Hiding in the shadow of a long grass. There he is hiding in behind the shadow of long grass. Why he is hiding there? Near the water hole where plum deers pass. There the tiger, he is hiding behind the shadow, behind the long grass, under the shadow, for catching his prey, for catching his food. Who is that? Plum deers. What is meant by plum deers? Fatty deers. Okay. He can catch the fatty deer by hiding there. Clear? Okay, let me move to the next stanza. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws terrorizing the village. You see, he should be snarling. What is meant by snarling? Warning sounds. He is making some warning sounds. We know that he is a powerful one and he has a good voice, good sound. Okay, he can roar loudly. He should give some warning to the people, to the village people at the jungle's edge, at the border of the jungle. He can come to the border of the jungle and he can give some warning to the people who are living in the village. And bearing his white fangs, his claws terrorizing the village. You see, bearing means what? To express, bearing, to express. His white fangs, what is meant by white fangs? His teeth, white teeth, by showing his white tooth. And his claws, what is meant by claws? The sharp and curved nails, and terrorizing the village. And by showing his claws and tooth, he can terrorize the village people. He give warning. He is coming there and people all are frightened and they will move away from there. Right? Okay. Okay, let me move to the next stanza. But he is locked in a concrete cell. Again the poet calls the readers to the zoo. Actually, this tiger is very powerful and he has a good power in the jungle. But what he will do there? He cannot do anything. Now he is in the cell. He is here in the zoo behind the iron bars. Right? Here he cannot do anything. He is completely helpless. Whatever the people give for eating, that only he can eat. He cannot go for catching his prey. Clear what I said? Okay. but he is locked in a concrete cell. He is completely helpless here. He is locked in a concrete cell. His strength behind the bars, his strength behind the iron bars. Stalking length of his cage, ignoring the visitors, and stalking length of his cage and ignoring the visitors. He is just moving inside the cage by controlling all his anger and his power. Everything he is controlling himself, and he is just moving inside the cage very silently, and he is not at all minding the people who are coming for visiting him. He never visits them. He never mind the visitors. He just ignore all the visitors. Clear? Ignoring. He refused the visitors. Next stanza. He hears the last voice at night. The patrolling cars and stars with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. You see the last stanza. He hears the last voice at night, and in the zoo, what is the last voice in the zoo? The sound of the patrolling cars. The patrolling cars of the guards. What are they checking for? They are checking whether everything is fine or not. Any problem here or not? Okay, they want to clear everything during the night time. So the sound what he can hear there, that is the patrolling cars sound, the sound of the patrolling cars. And stares with his brilliant eyes, and he stares means what? Looking at the looking with his brilliant eyes. Here it is, brilliant means shining eyes. We know that. What about the cat's eye? Shining. Tiger also in the family of a cat, right? So his eyes are very shining. During the night time, he just look at the sky with his brilliant eyes. Brilliant eyes means with his shining eyes. At the brilliant stars, he just look at the sky with his brilliant eyes. The brilliant stars. Brilliant stars means the shining stars. That's here in the poem. Okay, my dear children, let's find out the rhyme scheme of the poem. Okay, see, what's the first line ending with? Stripes. Stripes, right? Then cage. Next one, quoit. The next one, rage. I hope everyone know how to find out the rhyming scheme, right? Okay, let's see. First line ending with stripes, we can give it as A here, and the next sound, the next line is ending with cage. It is not rhyming with the first line, so we can give it as B. And quoit is also not rhyming with any of these, so we can give it as C. And rage is rhyming with cage, so we can give it as B. So what's the rhyming scheme? A, B, C, B. Okay, the first stanza, the rhyming scheme of the first stanza is A, B, C, B. Correct? Okay. Let's see the second stanza also. Here, shadow, then grass, then hole, then next one, pass. Okay, find out shadow, we can give it as A here, and grass is not rhyming with the shadow, so we can give it as B. And hole is also not rhyming with any of this, we can give it as C again here. Then next, pass is rhyming with grass, so we can give it as B. So A, B, C, B. So first and second stanza having the same rhyming scheme, A, B, C, B. So the next also will be the same. Children, you need to find out the rhyming scheme yourself. It's very easy to find out. Okay. And also, you can see the first line. It start with a He stalks. Can you see there? He. The lines start with he. Okay. A tiger calls us he. So it is a personification. Here the tiger is considering as a person, and using the poet used the word he. So this is a personification. So the first line we can see, in the first line we can see a personification there. Okay. What's the second one? Okay. Metaphor. One metaphor is there. Can you see one metaphor there? What's mean by metaphor? Comparing two things. Here, on pads of velvet, the pose of the tiger is compared with velvet. The pads of the tiger, pads means the pose. The pose of the tiger is compared with velvet here. So that is metaphor. The poetic device used here in this line, it is metaphor. On pads of velvet coat. What's the poetic device used here? That is metaphor. Okay. Okay, children. Let me give you one question related to this, and all other the exercise we will do in the interaction section. Okay. Okay, please write the question. Okay, it's an essay question. You can write it now. Animals big and small being used by, listen, animals big and small are being used by humans for their selfish ends. What's the question? Animals big and small are being used by humans for their selfish ends. Write your opinion regarding the exploitation of animals. Here you need to write an essay about this. Animals big and small are being used by humans for their selfish ends. Write your opinion regarding the exploitation of animals. Clear? Okay, my dear children, now it is the time for winding up. Let me sign out. Thank you.